Live from JMT Studios, Gary Seisel and Adam Buckingham are the Two Jersey Kids.
Hey guys, Two Jersey Kids is back in the building. Are you excited? I'm excited. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Buckingham, alongside the best stick handler in the business, Gary Seisel. How you doing today, Gary?
I am doing grand, good sir.
Well, this is episode 13, I believe. Unlucky 13. That's fantastic. I'm sure something catastrophic is going to happen throughout this episode. Yeah, that'll basically be it. And then I'll just power through. I'll just power through it until you pop back online right to the end. Oh, my power? Then we're fucked. Then we got to start all over. But if you guys didn't know, this is Two Jersey Kids. We released 2 episodes. One on Tuesday, which breaks down the games that are coming out this week. It's a shorter one. Then you have this one coming to your ears that most likely comes out on Friday. Not most likely, it always comes out on Friday, where we break down the topics and news that is going on in the video game industry and give you our genius opinions, because being normal gamers, we're basically geniuses. I mean, it's obvious. But remember, please follow us at Two Jersey Kids. Please, if you're a new listener, we love you. Subscribe on that iTunes, or rate us on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. Or, tweet us questions at Two Jersey Kids, or email at twojerseykids@gmail.com. We would love to interact with you. We interact with all our fans, quote, fans. We still need to figure out what to call them, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. But what have you been up to this past week, Gary? G-Man?
Well,
G-Sizzle?
Gaming has been a little... The gaming aspect of my life has been a little scarce lately, but I have been playing Skyrim some more. I am actually slowly making my way through the Dragonborn DLC. Funny story. I'm in like the final stage of the Dragonborn DLC. I'm about to take on Miraak, who is the main villain in this DLC.
Of course it is.
Of course, so one of the things you have to do is learn a specific shout in the game, which is like a power that only the Dragonborn can wield. So, of course, I unlocked 2 of, like, there's 3 stages to each shout. Like, it's like, I guess, to improve the power behind the shout.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
throw your hands up and shout. Sorry.
That's tremendous. So I have to unlock all 3 of these. But the only problem was I only unlocked 2, and I entered the final fight of the game. Like, I entered the final stage, the final level area of the game, and now I have to go all the way back and unlock the shout. I have to kill another dragon. It's a pain in the ass. It kind of pisses me off, but yeah, that's my frustrating week in gaming. So yeah, what have you been up to?
You've only been playing Elder Scrolls, no Destiny, no anything?
Destiny was this past weekend for a little bit, but I had work, and then I went out on Saturday night, so I didn't really get a chance to play much. It sucks right now because I have so much other shit going on with school and everything. So
fair enough.
It's
We're
hard
normal
to
people.
divide up my time.
We're normal people.
Yeah.
But geniuses at the same time. What I've been up to, I've been playing some Titanfall 2, some online multiplayer, just pilots versus pilots. I realize every time I take a break from any type of shooter, I get back in and I get crushed like the first 2 games because I'm still not used to it. And then I get back into my rhythm and I do okay. All I have to say is whoever uses the fucking cloaking device in Titanfall 2, fuck you! I hate that bullshit, because it cloaks pretty well, and if you're just because in Titanfall 2, you're like flying. You're running really fast, especially in pilot versus pilot, because you're not using the slow Titans. You're running fast, and the cloak is actually really well, so if you're going by, you don't even notice. You have to like be focused and trained down that one sight, which is not what you're supposed to do in Titanfall 2. Another unfortunate thing is, one time over the weekend, I believe, I had difficulty finding players, which is kind of unfortunate with, I think it sold, roughly 5 to 6 million copies, but there's only like 18,000 people online, which is really frustrating, and I can't find anybody, but, But, surprise, surprise, Gary, you want to know what I've been playing also? I just installed it today, and I've been playing it. You want to take a gander? You want to take a wild guess? You will not guess this at all, but,
I have no idea.
No idea?
Please tell me.
Well, I installed, because I still have my old laptop. My old laptop randomly through wear and tear, the hinges started breaking off. So I just like have it up against like a wall in my living room area where it just so it doesn't break anymore. I installed Skyrim I had Skyrim already on Steam, but I'm not playing Skyrim. I installed the Endrol mod.
Oh, son of a bitch!
And I just started it. I'm like on very low settings because my laptop is like pretty much garbage, but I'm on very low settings. Just started it. Super creepy vibe to start out. I just finished the character creation. I mean, I flew through that because I don't really care too much about what I look like. As long as I have black hair, I'm fine. But I just started that. Really, it's great so far. The first 30 minutes into it, I started it. I was on low settings. My computer's already freaking out. I can hear it. I was on low settings. I got to the first cutscene. Fucking crashed halfway through. Like it froze. I had to stop and then put it on very low settings. Ran somewhat smooth, and it's working. So I'm gonna see what that's all about. So
I've been just a warning. So I was reading reviews on this DLC, and people were saying they're. I mean, take it as you may. It's kind of absurd, but like some people were saying they were like almost like moved to tears making some of these decisions. Like,
fucking fantastic!
They were saying like the moral choices you have to make are just insane.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that Skyrim doesn't do this, but in this game, it was one of the first interactions with somebody, and you made a statement, and it said, this person likes this. I don't know if that's not in Skyrim. I can't remember. It's been so long. So it seems like your choices affect their vision of you. But if you guys do have Skyrim on your PC, if you have a beefy PC, or even just like a generic laptop or PC that can run somewhat well, if it can run Skyrim on low settings, you'll be fine. Just get this. It's relatively easy to set up and launch. So check it out. It's good. But should we roll into the topics, or should we just keep rambling on about things?
The topics. I think it's time for the topics.
Should I bring out my southern accent? Hee-haw!
That's in due time.
in due time. In due time. Starting with the topics. Brought to you by Gatorade.
Oh my god.
Nintendo Switch price may have been accidentally revealed. Joe Screbbles over to IGN writes, the Canadian arm of Toys R Us may have inadvertently outed the base price of the upcoming Nintendo Switch, briefly listing the hybrid console at $329.99 Canadian dollars, which roughly translates to 200 pounds or 250 just normal dollars. The listing has since been removed. As spotted by WCCF Tech, the potential price is competitive, placing it around the same level as the most basic Xbox One and PS4 units. Not to mention, on par with the hugely successful Wii's $249.99 US dollar initial price point. Something we suggested in our rundown of unanswered. They have a picture of it. The listing lines up with a report from Let's Play Video Games, which says two separate sources have indicated that the UK's game retail chain will sell a basic model for £199. I think that's a pound sign. That's a pound. Oh, we were just having this discussion. Yeah, it's pound sign. LPVG also reports that a premium model will be sold with more internal storage and a packing game for £249. If this is any case and it's Nintendo's recommended price, it will mark the Switch as significantly cheaper to manufacture than the Wii U. Nintendo has previously said it will not sell the new console at a loss. The Wii U was sold at a loss and at $299 initial price point. That's exciting, Gary, isn't it? They're already below the price point of PS. If this is true, they're already below PS4 and Xbox One, which I'm sure excites gamers.
I'm actually kind of surprised how low the price is. Well, what is the dollar price here? What, $2.99 for dollars?
No, it's $249.99.
But that's with the premium model. That's the pound, £249.99.
No, were you fucking listening, Gary? Do you ever fucking listen? God damn it!
Actually,
it's like you walked away from the screen or something. It's like you walked away from the screen, and I know I saw you. It says $250 US dollars which was briefly listed by the Canadian Toys R Us. So if that's the base price, then or the base unit is $250, then maybe I guess $300 would be the one that's pack-in game. That's conversion properly, right?
Well, I'm interested in hearing what the difference is between these two models. What is the real separation between the two?
Yeah.
Is the hardware going to be more improved inside? Is it going to be quicker, faster? Obviously, they said there's going to be more storage space, but how much more storage space? I'm interested to see the real specifications here.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll learn more when they talk about January 12th. I think that's when they're doing their announcement direct type thing. But if you wanted to know, 250 pounds equates to $310, which I don't think they'll do 310 specifically. I feel like they'll round down to make it a nice $299.99 because that's a nice price for people out there. Because the whole $99.99 sort of makes it better than the solid $300. Marketing, or consumerism. I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Moving on. NVIDIA porting PS4, Xbox One, and PC games to Nintendo Switch is simple. Jeff Grubb over at VentureBeats writes, Nintendo's new Switch hybrid handheld and home console will launch in March, and we already seen the publisher suggest that it'll have games like Skyrim and NBA 2K, even though they haven't really mentioned it.
Maybe.
But now we're also learning that the system could have the right processors to attract additional third-party support. NVIDIA confirmed that the architecture of the Tigray chip powering the Nintendo Switch is similar to what's inside of Sony and Microsoft consoles, as well as most gaming PCs. In a conference call with investors last week, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang noted that this should enable developers to build games that can quickly shift from one platform to another, and that includes games that originate on PC, Xbox One, and PS4 to Switch. Nintendo plans to reveal more about the Switch during an event on January 12th. Quote, the quality of games have grown significantly, said Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. He continues, quote, and one of the factors of production value of games that has been possible is because the PC and the two gaming consoles, Xbox and PlayStation, and in the near future, the Nintendo Switch, all of these architectures are in common in the sense that they all use modern GPUs, they all use programmable shading, and they have basically similar features, end quote. That's a lot of information. How do you feel about that, guy? G Money?
Well, it's good. I
G
mean,
Unit?
Coming from somebody that used to own a PS3 that always got the short end of the stick when it came to porting because of PS3's annoying hardware, I think it's good. It's obviously a good thing for Nintendo, but then again, it's all dependent on what developers are actually producing games for them. Are they really going to get Skyrim? That really hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's good to know that it's actually going to be simple and easy to port games over to their console, because ultimately, I mean, it's going to be very important for them to be successful. Yeah,
and I mean, Nintendo's always been on the cutting edge of new technology, and maybe they figured out a way to somehow get that power out of a smaller piece of hardware. Who knows? It's exciting. I'm excited to talk when we find out more on January 12th.
I'm just hoping it is another gimmick. That's all.
I mean, I like the way it looks
what I'm seeing so far.
It doesn't look like a toy.
Yeah, but I hope that it translates over.
It doesn't look like
being a real console.
It doesn't look like something you would
system.
It doesn't look like something you would find in the Fisher Price aisle of Toys R Us.
Yeah,
like the Wii U.
Absolutely.
Boom! Shots fired. Moving on. Nintendo confirms production on the Wii U to end production in Japan soon. No fucking way. Julia Alexander over at Polygon writes, after months of rumors that Nintendo was going to cease production on its Wii U system ahead of release of the company's new hybrid console, the Nintendo Switch, an update on its website has confirmed the news. Spotted by Kotaku, a picture of the Wii U on Nintendo's Japanese website now has a caption stated that, quote, production is scheduled to end soon, end quote. The caption also explicitly states that the ceasing of production is limited to Japan right now. The version of the console Nintendo is referring to, the white 32 gig gigabyte premium set is also the only available version on the website. Other versions of the consoles, including the Black Wii U, are listed as no longer in production. Rumors started floating around in March that the company could stop rolling out Wii U's as early as this year, as reported by Japanese website Nikkei. So they had an update, and in a statement to Polygon, Nintendo confirmed that production for the Wii U in Japan would be ending, quote, in the near future, end quote. The company could not announce any details on exact timing for when that may be. Nintendo added that, quote, as of today, all Wii U hardware that will be made available in North America market for this fiscal year has already been shipped to our retail partners. We encourage anyone who wants Wii U to communicate with their preferred retail outlet to monitor availability, end quote. Does that shock you at all? They're finally getting rid of the Wii U.
Well, I mean, eventually, especially with Nintendo Switch around the corner, it makes no financial sense for them to keep producing this system. Especially, I mean, I know you were saying before that it failed well, I'm not sure if it failed miserably, but it definitely did. It disappointed, let's put it that way. So at this point, I think it's better for them now. Obviously, you know, they've revealed their new console, their plans for the future, and obviously they're going to basically focus on Nintendo Switch from here on out. So no, not surprising at all that they're stopping the production here.
Yep, I have no comment. Not shocking. They should fucking end it. Just end it while it can be. Just end it now. Put a bullet in Wii U's figurative brain. Just, you know, just put it down, please. It's been struggling. It's time. Dead Space devs. Oh, I forgot to do the moving on. Dead Space devs Star Wars game is not, quote, Star Wars Uncharted, end quote, coming in 2018. Written by Eddie Makuch over at GameSpot. Uncharted veteran Amy Hennig is heading up development on the new Star Wars game that is currently in production at Dead Space and Battlefield Hardline studio Visceral Games. In a new interview with Gixel, Hennig stressed that the game will not be, quote, Star Wars Uncharted, end quote. The report says the game may be, quote, spiritually similar, quote, to Uncharted, but it will also be its own thing. As the site points out, Uncharted games are told pretty much exclusively from the point of view of the main character, Nathan Drake. Stories in the broader Star Wars franchise, however, are often told from multiple perspectives, with the audience forming connections with a handful of characters and plot points. This could be the setup for Visceral's new Star Wars games, though nothing has been confirmed. I'm excited that Amy Hennig is working on a Star Wars game. I've seen, for the amount of work she's put into those Uncharted games, I'm pretty excited to see the story that she and Visceral can create with this whole Star Wars universe. There's so much you could expand on. There's so much lore and just books and everything you just wrap into this. You're a Star Wars guy. Go.
As an aside to this, I mean, I feel like I hope that this game opens the door for other games in the Star Wars universe, because it's just like you said, there's so many ways that you can go with this. I mean, all these different stories that can be told, all these different characters that can be talked about. And you know, we're going to get into the Xbox discussion later on, but you know, the game KOTOR, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, it was huge. I mean, the success of that game just goes to show you that, you know, Star Wars games don't necessarily have to focus on the Empire era or Darth Vader or anything like that. They can just go in completely different directions and explore completely different. Okay, but they can explore completely different areas of the Star Wars universe and still, you know, be successful. So I hope that this game turns out really good. I'm really looking forward to it, but I also hope that there's other games that are, you know, quote unquote spawned from this, and I hope it kind of just keeps trending that way, because I mean I love Star Wars. So
agreed. Do you see that they're doing a comic book run for Darth Maul prior to his whole Phantom Menace thing?
Oh, really?
God, he could have been so much cooler.
Yeah. Well, that could be a whole other podcast.
Whole other podcast.
What a disaster that. Yeah, my accent.
He should have been
disaster those prequels were.
I mean, he should have fucking been like the villain throughout. Did you ever get the chance to watch the thing that I sent you? The conspiracy theory about Darth Jar Jar?
Oh no, I didn't. I think that's
honestly, it's really
fantastic.
fantastic. You should definitely watch it. I 100% telling you right now, you should watch it, and it'll make you think. It'll make you think. It really would.
That's insane. I really actually might have to watch that then.
But it kind of makes sense. The whole, how Yoda in Episode 5 was just like bumbling goof, and he just like, you'd never expect him to be a Jedi Master, and then fucking all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
That's what George Lucas did, and maybe he was trying to do the opposite direction in the prequels, have like this bumbling fool all of a sudden become, the fucking Sith Lord.
Well,
I mean, Jar Jar is always walking around Palpatine. He's always there. And just
those movies.
Just putting it there. Putting it out there.
That's an interesting theory. I mean, I will say it's interesting, but at the same time, those movies were just so bad.
All right,
1 and 2.
We should
1 and 2, unwatchable. Anyway, keep moving on.
That's debatable. I like 1 for the final fight scene. I feel like 2 is the one that's completely unwatched. But I digress. Let's move on. We're not a Star Wars podcast. Even though I'm sure you would love to be, Gary. Moving on.
Definitely.
Super Mario Run will cost $10 for a limited access. Jason Schreier over Kotaku writes, Super Mario Run will be out for iOS on December 15th, Nintendo said today. You'll be able to, quote, try elements of the game's 3 modes, end quote, at no cost. But to get unlimited access to the entire game, you'll pay $10. Announced at an Apple press conference in September, Super Mario Run is the first mobile game to feature a major Nintendo franchise other than Pokemon, which is handled by a different group of companies. I like this. I like companies coming out and say, hey, you know what? Like on the mobile space, you know what? Our game is worth this amount of money. You should buy it. You pay this much, you have it for good. And I expect Nintendo, they're not going to half-ass this type of game. I expect it to have multiple levels, more deep, and it could last for hours. I just don't think it's just going to be a paced-on game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading some of the comments right now, because this isn't something I necessarily pay too much attention to, but I'm interested, $10 is good if, like you said, if the game does have multiple levels and it's worth that money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always a little skeptical of mobile versions of games because I'm not that they're bad or anything like that.
There are great mobile games. You just have to sort through the shit show that is the App Store, where it's just basically just diarrhea of just all free garbage games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's like you said, Nintendo is king, I guess, of like the mobile type of game, and in this case, I think they'll do well. It's one of their flagship gaming franchises. It's a staple for them, and I feel like they're not going to half-ass a Super Mario game. So, yeah, I think it'll turn out well for them. $10 probably worth it. I mean, you spend $10 on worse things, I'm sure. So what the hell's $10 for a Mario game? I mean, seriously.
Very true. Very true. Moving on. Watch Dogs 2's multiplayer is broken at launch. Oscar Diaz over at GameSpot writes, Watch Dogs 2 may now be out in the wild, except for PC owners. But that doesn't mean the whole game is working as it should. It's seamless multiplayer in which other players can appear in your game, and you and theirs is currently deactivated. In a statement, publisher Ubisoft said it pulled the plug on the feature as it was causing the game to, quote, to lag and crash periodically, end quote. The publisher went on to say, quote, in order to eliminate that issue at launch and for players to enjoy a smooth game experience, we have decided to wait to launch the seamless multiplayer feature so it would not impact the core gameplay experience. Players can fully enjoy the entire single-player experience without any concern. Additionally, co-op is still fully functional by inviting friends to the game menu. However, the bounty hunter mode and other activities that would occur with other outside players who enter your game will unavailable until the issue is resolved, end quote. They experienced issues where it crashed, and the only way to fix it was to completely restart it. But I like that they pulled the plug on it so it doesn't crash the game in general, because you see lately how games come out and they're just awful, and the multiplayer is just garbage and doesn't even work.
So if you were buying the game in terms of for the multiplayer aspect of the game, you're basically screwed. I mean, it's good. I mean, like you said, it's good they pulled the plug on it, but that kind of is. I always wonder, and I don't know. Maybe it doesn't really. I'm not sure if it necessarily applies to this. Maybe I don't know, but I always wonder why companies they don't test out things properly before they release them. And no, I'm a Destiny fan, so as you know, so I know
No
what it's like
way!
to. I know what it's like to see stuff that's been released that's half-assed or looks like they didn't even think about it beforehand. Like recently, in this is actually part of the reason I haven't been playing that much, but in Trials of Osiris, which is a 3v3 game type, they took away radar, and normally you wouldn't think this is a big deal, but radar is everything in Destiny. That's how you know when people are around you, obviously. And since there's no audio cues in the game, you can't tell when anyone's around you if there's no fucking radar. So in that instance there, I'm saying to myself...
What do you mean no audio cues?
Like, I can't hear footsteps. There's no footsteps in that game.
Really?
It's a joke.
Really?
So,
I never noticed that.
This is what I mean. So Bungie releases this... They make this change, and it's like, did you even think through what this would do to the game? There's so many people that hated it, and it's the same thing here with Watch Dogs. It's like, I just feel like this whole thing could be avoided if they maybe tested out things before they released them, had a beta or some sort of thing like that.
I feel like they do quality control, and they can't get through everything, and maybe this was just, they were trying to hit their deadline point with this game, and they realized they just couldn't get the multiplayer fixed by that time, but they didn't want to delay it, and they realized that you could still play a single player pretty easily, and that's basically what this game is all about. And you don't really go to Watch Dogs and think about the multiplayer. I'm sure they're like, you know what, let's just sort of not cancel it, but pause it, put it on the back burner for right now. Let's launch it without it. Let's have some multiplayer aspects to it, and then fix the multiplayer, send it out, and then people can enjoy it, so it's not a laggy mess. But I've been hearing good things about Watch Dogs, though.
I mean, if that's the case, that's fine. It's just, I guess I'm speaking in general terms that, like, a lot of companies, I feel like sometimes just kind of, they push things out because they have to, and then it turns out they don't work, or they have something drastically wrong with whatever they're creating or whatever they've created. And I just think that it's kind of stupid. But
you're just grouchy,
anyway,
man. You're just fucking grouchy about everything.
Someone's got to present these other opinions.
Somebody's got to be the Skip Bayless.
No. I haven't made any crazy predictions yet. Trust me, that's not happening.
Wii U will sell 100 million consoles in this last year. I don't know what accent that was. Moving on!
Nice Little Republic. Okay.
Oh, no. What were you going to say, Gary?
I was going to say Nice Little Republic 3 is coming out next year.
That's bold.
It's been secret. They've
been developing it for 15 years or however long.
I would cry. If it only came out to Xbox, no shit, I'm telling you, I would buy Xbox tomorrow. But anyway, it's irrelevant. Keep going.
Moving on. Sony suspends player who found a sex organ in Watch Dogs 2. John Fingas over on Gadget Games, or Engadget.com writes, Ubisoft might pride itself on Watch Dogs 2's plausible game world, but it looks like the open world title might be a little too realistic, and one player is paying the price for it. Sony suspended NeoGAF 4 member Goron 2000 from Sony Entertainment Network, including PSN, after he discovered that at least one of the female character models in the game has a fully rendered vagina. It has a fully rendered vagina. It's not exactly necessary in a hacking-themed action title where international nudity is very rare, is it? Unlike the, quote, hot coffee, quote, scandal that surrounded Grand Theft Auto San Andreas years ago, this gaff isn't inaccessible bits of code buried deep within the title's backend. It's art assets within the final game that seemingly any player could happen upon. According to Sony, the player's decision to share his discovery online using the PS4 built-in sharing function violated SEN guidelines forbidding players from sharing, quote, adult or sexual content, or sexual, quote, content. Ubisoft has promised to patch the sex origin out of the game, and it's important to note that the temporary ban will last until December 15th. However, the very fact that either happened has left Goron 2000 and others scratching their heads. How did this make it past Ubisoft's certification team? That's fucking insane.
I'm more confused. I mean, so they suspend the player? I mean,
I think it's because he shared it using the PS4 share app. I don't know.
And I get that, but at the same time, it's like this company, it's their problem. They're the ones that created the problem, and you're going to suspend. I mean, yeah, why? I don't know why he's sharing it. Whatever, but you're going to suspend the player.
I mean, wouldn't you share something if you saw that there was a fully rendered vagina or dick in a game?
Frankly,
shockingly,
I would find it
unnecessarily
hilarious and ridiculous. Yeah, and it's like you're going to suspend the player for something that a company somehow like just let slip through the cracks. Like what the hell?
I feel like, I mean, don't developers normally contract out certain like parts of a game just because developers aren't that large that they can get to everything, so they sort of contract out different things to different developers or different studios, and sometimes those studios can slip in different things. I remember hearing a story, I forget what game it was, but apparently they contract out some studio to do the sky of some game, and they were doing the remastered version of it, and they realized that in the sky, which is a bunch of, like, they put, like, dicks or something, like the dick shape, but they never noticed it in the previous one because it wasn't, like, not HD, but the graphics weren't, like, high depth enough to actually notice it, where now when they did the remastered and it was, like, basically somewhat rendered graphics, it's easier to see, so they had to redo that whole portion. It happens, apparently.
Yeah, I mean,
why someone felt the need to put a whole, like, full-fledged vagina in a game, I don't know.
Isn't that kind of just a waste of time? I mean, like, you figure you got a lot of stuff to do, and that is what you're spending your
Especially
time
if it's like
on?
it's real. I haven't seen the pictures, or I don't know how detailed it is, but I mean, why would you put time in that? And how did if somebody was I can't imagine if there's someone's doing this at the office and somebody's walking by and not like notice, like, hey, is that a vagina you have on your screen that you're making? What is this?
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. This world's crazy.
Yes, it is. Shall we move on? You have anything more about Watch Dogs vaginas, Gary?
No, take the wheel.
All
Keep
right.
it going.
Adam, I am taking the wheel. I don't know why I said myself in the third person, but, I meant to say, fuck it. Moving on. Newly free EVE Online aims to prevent exploits and harassment, Nathan Grayson over at Kotaku writes. Today's a big day for ever-churning vat of intergalactic intrigue that is EVE Online. It just went free to play, which means a big influx of players to disrupt the universe's precious balance of power. I spoke with the game's executive producer. Well, he spoke with Andy Nordgren, the executive producer. He asked him, EVE is going to free to play, and that means a potential influx of new players. What are existing corporations doing to prepare? I'm sure they're anticipating shifts in power, or at least opportunities to gain an upper hand. Have there been recruitment efforts? Propaganda? The fact that you can ask about propaganda is pretty insane, but that's a thing. But Andy Nordgren responds, several of the old school groups have set up new corporations in their alliance. They're going to be their recruiting corporations. They've set up one at each starting point. They're looking for new ways to reach people, like, quote, hey, we're the Mercenary Coalition, so if you want to be a badass space mercenary who fights war to pay, then come join us, end quote. Brave Newbies, a group formed after a massive battle in 2014, are still around, and they're preparing a big recruitment drive. All the big groups now have a newbie school that they're trying to get people... I can't. This game is insane. The fact that they're planning on having a newbie school for new people to recruit is insane. I don't know.
See, this is what I always have a hard time. It's funny. I always have a hard time, I feel like, explaining to people sometimes why video games are amazing. And this is exactly the reason. Because what people don't realize, I feel like, is that with video games, it isn't just flipping on a console and just playing a game mindlessly. There's like whole communities to these games. People that are just obsessed with this game, and in this game especially, it's insane. I mean, it's like you're saying with the recruitment drives and like the massive battles. Like I think we covered this game actually in a previous episode, probably a while back.
I think it was like a massive battle where multiple thousands of dollars were lost in this large scale battle.
And they're talking about shifts in power. Like, this is the stuff that this is what makes games great. It's not just what you get. It's the other stuff that happens that people create that make the game amazing. And this is a perfect example of that.
Because, like, you can just be minding your own business and actually just, like, be just a miner that just goes and mines stuff and then comes back. And I want to say, I don't want to, like, I feel like you can just put your ship on autopilot while you're not there and do things. Because I remember my friend was playing EVE, and he was just a mining person, so he would just go back and forth. There's more to this interview. I just wanted to read that portion because it's a long interview, and I don't know if we can touch on all of it because we have more stuff to get to. But please, you should go check it out at Kotaku. It's very fascinating stuff. EVE in general is just fascinating. It's just everything that just is created from that community is just crazy. The whole power structure that there is, and man, tiredness is finally hitting me, Gary. I'm fucking getting tired. I'm slowing down.
This happens every time.
It happens every time because we start recording late, and then I gotta do work things tomorrow. Fuck that shit. Stay young, my friends. Stay young. Guardians of the Galaxy game reportedly coming from Telltale soon. Oscar Deus over at GameSpot writes. It's like we have a bunch of GameSpot stuff today. I don't know how it happens. I just pick random ones that I see first, and lately it's been GameSpot. Marvel comic Guardians of the Galaxy will soon be reimagined by Telltale Games, according to one report at least. Eurogamer reports that the game is currently under development, while GameSpot has also heard Telltale's Marvel title, first confirmed in 2015, will be an entry in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. The match would make sense with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie arriving April 2017, and Telltale's aforementioned Marvel game also due out next year. Though the leak, which originated from a document submitted by SAG-AFTRA, the Voice Actors Union, doesn't necessarily attribute the upcoming title to Telltale itself, the company apparently working on Guardians is also working on The Walking Dead Season 3, another Telltale title coming... Wow, Telltale title. That's a tongue twister. Telltale title coming November 2016. The leak is true. We may get a full reveal at the Game Awards in December. Oh, that's coming soon. I think that's December 1st. And back in 2015, they used the Game Awards to announce the Batman Telltale series. Have you ever played a Telltale game, Gary?
I have not.
It's very, it's a very good. It's basically just like, how do I explain it? It's just kind of like comic booky style, going through the story, making choices. Not too much gameplay per se, just following the story and making your character, the character you're playing as, the way you want it by making sometimes really difficult decisions. I played Walking Dead Season 1, and they had Season 1 up to Episode 4. I still need to finish that on Vita. A lot of stuff to finish. But it challenged you with like different choices that you needed to make. And they tell fantastic stories. Now Telltale is like in every fucking series. It's insane.
Yeah, I've never actually seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
No,
it's a shame.
Guardians.
I heard it's great though.
It's really good.
It's like one of those things. Sorry to keep cutting you off.
You're fine.
Like superhero movies. It's like I've seen a few of them, but I'm never. It's not like something I go out of my way to see. You know what I mean? It's like if Star Wars, like, you know, I guess it just depends on your interest. But like if Star Wars comes out, I'm right on top of that. Like I'll be seeing Rogue One on December 16th, which is a month away. Crazy enough. But yeah, I never saw that movie. And I heard it was really good. So
quick question: Did you see Deadpool?
No, and
that's the one you need to go out and see. That's one you need to go out and see. I'm shocked they didn't try to get, or maybe Telltale will eventually get Deadpool. I feel like they would have a lot of fun writing that story with the whole fourth wall breaking in a video game. But I'm excited. A Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale game could be rather interesting. Them trying to work in the playing off each different characters, because I'm guessing it will follow the crew, because there's a lot of interactions that could happen with differing people in the crew, the Star-Lord and Groot and Rocket Raccoon. They're all fascinating characters and funny. Basically, I wonder if it's going to be in the movie universe or comic universe. Who knows? I never read the comics, but I honestly, if anything, I just want a choice in one of those games. If it's like 5 episodes where you're playing as Groot and all you can respond is "I am Groot," but in different like tones. That's all I want. That's all I want. That's all I want in this game. But it should be fascinating. And if they try to play it off, because I heard really amazing things from Tales from the Borderlands. So if it's kind of like in that sort of comic style that Marvel has been doing in the movie series, it could be a really fascinating game to play. That's my 2 cents on it. But let me load up the next article as we just Phil awkwardly, and Gary stares at me, smiling. Not saying a word, just putting this all on my fucking shoulders.
To open up this
like
article
a piece of
beforehand.
shit. I'm talking, man. I can't multitask. Do you want me to talk and try to open up something and then hoping I open up the right thing? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. You could read the article if you want. God.
I could.
You could. Nah, I guess I'll read it. I gave you the chance. You fucking blew it. Moving on. PS4 console sales have... Shut up, Gary. Let me read the damn article. PS4 console sales have tripled in the UK following the launch of the PS4 Pro video game, or VG247. Shabana Arif over at VG247 writes, "Shut up, Gary. Sony's PS4 launch at the end of last week has had quite the impact on the PS4 console sales. According to MCV UK, PS4 sales for the week ending Saturday, November 12th, were up 204%. 65% of the total PS4 sales last week were for the PS4 Pro, while the sales figure for all PS4 consoles was 44% higher than those for Xbox One. In fact, Sony's console sales represented 53% of the console market share. The Xbox One's share was 37%, although the console is up 85% week over week. No huge surprise considering the price slashes. Is that interesting to you? That 65% of the sales, I think UK sales, I believe that's UK sales have been the PS4 Pro. Shocking that they choose the Pro over the just PS4. Maybe it's they don't know the difference. Who knows?
Well, I mean, yeah, it is a little surprising, honestly, because I mean, the difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro is nothing that substantial.
4K.
I guess it just depends on
buzzwords, man.
Maybe. Well, I just wonder. I wonder if there's really like a reason behind this. Like if you dug deeper, there's a real reason. Like if a lot of these people are like maybe first time buyers and they're buying PS4 for the first time. Maybe they have an Xbox and they're buying a PS4. They were waiting for the PS4 Pro to come out because they figured the price isn't much different and it's an upgrade over the original console in some ways. You know, I wonder if that's maybe involved in it as opposed to people just buying PS4 Pros for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Interesting to think about.
I don't know. Maybe they just decided, what the heck? It's like $50 more. It says that it's better. Run games better. It's called Pro, so I guess it means that it'll be a better console. So why not buy this instead of what's $50 when buying already a piece of hardware that's somewhat expensive for people? I had this interaction with somebody. Phil.
Why do you always do this to me? You gotta give me a heads up when you're gonna do this.
Phil, talk about anything. Talk about the PS4 Pro. Talk about your life. Talk about
my life.
The first time you scored a goal. Go.
First time I scored a goal in hockey was in hockey or
in hockey.
I was
Wait,
8 years old.
God damn, you play hockey. What other sport would I talk about?
Well, you could have said Rutgers when I scored my first goal for Rutgers, not when I was 8. All right, this is really getting terrible. Can we find this guy that actually was fine?
Gary, you never told the story. It's not getting terrible. People were on the edge of their fucking seats right now. Well, not on the edges. They were excited. They were holding their earbuds, excited to hear about little Gary Seisel of 8 years old scoring his first goal. Did you throw your hands up? Did you get excited? Did you do like a break dance while you scored? Did you showboat?
To be honest with you, I was actually surprised. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, when you first score that first goal, it's like you always knew you could score a goal, but it's just like when it first happens, you're like, oh shit, like it happened, I scored, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
One timer was the first. I actually scored twice. That was actually pretty sweet.
That was like the first and only time I ever hit a home run in baseball. I was like, shit, the ball can go over the fence? I never been able to hit it that far. I'm able to hit it in the right spots to get on base, but I've never been able to hit it that far. So when they gave me the home run signal, I was like, shit. Well, that's the only time. But I am going to move on because I can't find that interaction, which is kind of sad. It was basically talking about they were worried about farther down the road what happens like when the PS4 can't run the games properly and that PS4 fan base is now feels neglected because they're just focusing now the Pro is the only console that can run it. I don't know. I doubt it.
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. I don't think it will. I certainly hope that isn't the case. Jesus.
Yeah. But here's the next article is actually pretty interesting when it comes to PS4 Pro. Chris Pereira over at GameSpot writes, at times, some games run slower on PS4 Pro than PS4. The newly launched PS4 Pro is a more powerful system than the existing versions of PS4, allowing for better looking and smoother games. But that isn't always the case, with a new report suggesting games sometimes suffer from performance issues that results in lower frame rates on a Pro than on a standard PS4. This is according to findings by Digital Foundry, which notes that this is only true of a select number of games with PS4 Pro updates and only at certain times. Still, the fact that this is happening with PS4 Pro, the high-end version of Sony consoles, is disconcerting. Not only that, but leaked Sony documents from earlier this year states that this goes against the company's guidelines for developers. And it's not just some no-name games this is occurring with. While Mantis Burn Racing, a smaller title, is affected, it was also found to be a case with a major Sony game, The Last of Us Remastered, and one of October's biggest releases, Skyrim Special Edition. It goes on to explain some issues that it's having, just tech mumbo-jumbo that I don't feel like getting into on this podcast. But it's pretty insane that a Sony game developed by Naughty Dog, The Last of Us Remastered, has issues running on the PS4 Pro. That's fucking
Well, we all know
stupid.
that Sony has had issues in the past with console launches, so I'm not entirely surprised that PS4 Pro is having an issue. I mean, I feel like with anything, it doesn't matter what console you're buying. I mean, it could be Xbox or PS4. I just feel like you almost should lay off the first iteration of consoles that come out because you're almost guaranteeing that you're going to be playing a buggy console, basically.
I mean, let's be realistic. When it comes to any type of tech, you lay off the first generation. Never fucking hop in unless you're just making buku's amount of money.
Although, I will say, I can't remember when the exact time the original PS4 dropped because I'm pretty sure I got that.
Oh, I bought the original, so I'm a big hypocrite on this statement that I just made.
I mean, granted, I knew the risks of doing it, but I mean, it never had an issue whatsoever, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I was hearing good things when it was being released. I never heard like issues with running games.
Yeah,
but I
remember you were telling me PS3 was a complete disaster. I obviously got PS3 a couple years after it released originally, so.
Yeah, I remember my parents randomly got a PS3 when I never even asked for it. It was that fucking thing was. Care. Yeah, I was happy. That thing was fucking beefy though. I still had it. I still had it for like years until I finally just gave it away to. We gave like our 360 and PS3s or 360 and PS3 away for charity, just willy nilly, just because there was no purpose and they were still running great. Actually, fun fact of the reason, well, not fun fact, but the main issue with launches that I remember are actually the Xbox 360, like manufacturing, was the Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death. That was like the main manufacturing issue that was going on. So you had one console that was breaking like within a year, then you had like this fucking expensive ass console that you need to get a second job to pay for.
I shit you not, okay? So I had an Xbox 360 originally. I was an Xbox fan because I loved the original Xbox, and then, obviously got the 360. I am pretty sure, I may be wrong, maybe my memory's off, but I am pretty sure the moment I turned my Xbox 360 on, when I first got it, it came up with an error message. The first time I booted it up, I am almost positive. And Now,
that fucking sucks.
Granted, it ran well enough for a while to the point where I could overlook that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was only like 14. I wasn't going to go out and spend money on repairs or anything. But, you know, I mean, it had bugs its entire existence that I played it. I remember I would play NHL 08 on it. Mm-hmm. And I remember the fan would get really loud. It would start running real loud. And all of a sudden, I would always know when it would fucking conk out on me. The fan would just go off, and I would have maybe a minute or like 2 minutes, and it would just completely like error message. Like, the disc is dirty. Please clean it. You know, God, nothing drives me more crazy, honestly, than faulty hardware. And especially in such massive numbers. Like, so many people had the red ring of death. So many people had hardware issues. It's inexcusable. It's so frustrating. And that's why I got PlayStation. That's why I've been playing PlayStation ever since. So, fuck you, Microsoft.
Damn! So much anger and hate that just got spewed by the G-Man.
God.
You tell him, Sizzle. You tell him. But, crazy, folks. If Gary did not get those issues with 360, he could be an Xbox man right now. Who knows? Who knows?
I loved Xbox. I love the original. We'll get into that later. But yeah.
But I guess we'll move on to interesting. Actually, I find this interesting. The Game Awards will deliver more gameplay, less CGI, thanks to No Man's Sky. Of course, always leads back to No Man's Sky. Always comes back to No Man's Sky. Brian Crescente over at Polygon writes, this year's Game Awards show will feature more substance and less sizzle, thanks in part to lessons learned from the bombastic lead up to No Man's Sky and the game's comparatively disappointing delivery, said host of the annual Game Awards Jeff Keighley. Quote, I have thought about the story of No Man's Sky a lot. Quote, Keighley told Polygon in a recent interview. He continues, quote, did we create this black hole of hype that developers couldn't pull themselves out of? Some of that was authorized by me. There was a good moral of that story, and it's part of what I'm trying to address this year, to have developers be more transparent about their game. End quote. The Game Awards will stream live from Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles on December 1st to, quote, celebrate the best of games of 2016. While the event isn't aired on television, it will be streamed live on a variety of services, including Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and YouTube. It will also be streamed in VR and for the first time available to be watched live in China.
I like how it takes...
Oh, no. I was going to continue. Fucking, you know what, Gary? You know what? You have a huge ego. You fucking want to always talk over me. It's not like I interrupt you ever. I never interrupt. Yeah. You know what? Fucking talk. Take it away.
I like how it takes... I like how it takes this massive catastrophe known as No Man's Sky to... I mean, they're like, oh, maybe we should be more transparent. Maybe we should, I don't know, actually show the gameplay that's actually in our games. I mean, really? Like now? Like, after that debacle that was No Man's Sky, where you get the game, you play it, and there's like 50,000 features missing from the game. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute. We should be more transparent. We should show them what's in our game. What the hell are people thinking, honestly?
God. It's like people actually want to know what's going on. It's not like they just want to, just keep people in the dark.
It's like, it's just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
Tell me how mind-boggling it is, Gary. On a scale of...
10 out of 10.
No, on a scale of 72 to 951, how mind-boggling is it?
949.9.
Damn.
It's just dumb. I mean, you think this would be already commonplace to show your gameplay, show what the game actually has, not show some, specially meticulously crafted scene that makes the game look amazing, but it really isn't. It's just kind of ridiculous.
That's all E3 press conferences or any reveal of it. Like Watch Dogs 1 looked amazing with its E3 reveal. The game didn't really come out that way, but got people hyped. Then it was nowhere to be seen. And, hype train, it was an above average game. It was pretty good, but never lived up to the hype. So, fucking be transparent. That's all. Transparent. That's all we fucking ask. That's all we ask. Right, Gary? Right?
Yes, sir.
Gary, do you know what happened this past Tuesday? Do you know what this past Tuesday was?
Oh wait.
You should fucking know this.
I don't know. Actually, I don't.
He's shit in the bed, guys. It's like
it's anniversary of what?
Jesus.
Halo, right? Yeah. Well, you made me think for a second because November 9th was the anniversary of Halo 2. November 9th, 2005. I remember that day vividly. So vividly.
Vividly.
Yeah.
Vividly. But November 15th was the 15th year anniversary of Xbox launching. So I'm going to read the little quick blurb in Wikipedia about the Xbox. If you would declare me this time to read. The original Xbox was released on November 15th, 2001 in North America, February 22nd, 2002 in Japan, and March 14th, 2002 in Australia and Europe. It was Microsoft's first foray into gaming console market. As part of the sixth generation of gaming, the Xbox competed with Sony's PlayStation 2, Sega's Dreamcast, and Nintendo's GameCube. The Xbox was the first console offered by an American company after the Atari Jaguar stopped sales in 1996. The name Xbox was derived from a contraction of DirectX Box, a reference to Microsoft's graphics API DirectX. The integrated Xbox Live service launched in November 2002, allowed players to play games online with or without a broadband connection. It first competed with Dreamcast's online service, but later primarily competed with PlayStation 2's online service. Although these two are free, while Xbox requires a subscription as well as a broadband-only connection, which was not completely adopted yet. Xbox Live was a success due to better servers, features such as Buddy List, and milestones titles like Halo 2, released in November 2004, which is the best-selling Xbox video game and was by far the most popular online game for years. Gary,
it was actually
what?
It was 2004 when Halo 2 came out.
Really? Yeah, it says 2004. Should we update this Wikipedia article if it's wrong?
Yeah, it is November 9, 2004. I thought it was 05 for some reason, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 4. I remember we were still in JMT at the time.
Oh, God, man, I missed that.
Sixth grade.
I missed the game. Okay, so allow me to go off here a little bit.
Here we go, guys. Settle in.
No.
Grab the popcorn.
I was going to say, I'm kind of contradicting myself what I said earlier about people like gaming studios showing their gameplay. Maybe I'm not really contradicting myself, but I have to say, back when I played Xbox and played like those original Halo games, I got those games without knowing anything about them. I heard they were really good, so I bought them, played them, and I was like mind blown by like the shit that happened in them. I feel like today you don't really get that anymore because I feel like there's so much information out there. You get to see like 2 missions out of the game before the game even releases. These companies come along and they're like, here's 2 hours of gameplay, or here's 20 minutes of gameplay.
Here's the first 30 minutes of the gameplay or the game.
Exactly, and you sit there and you watch the game being played, and you already know what to expect. I kind of miss. I think that it's good that there's information out there. I think it should be out there, but I think it kind of takes away from like the mystery of the games that you used to play. Like you put it into your console, you turn it on, you'd hear the Halo soundtrack for the first time, and you play through the game. Like you don't have that anymore.
You better hope it's not a garbage game. Like when I bought sneakers for the Xbox. Woo! What a bad decision. What a bad decision. Bad. I think that was like some you played as mice and it was like you're trying to fight off like rats or some bullshit. It was garbage. So sometimes having information about games is probably a good thing.
I think it's good that the information's out there, and it should be. But I think that part of the thing that I like about gaming is discovering the game. And when you're watching like an hour of gameplay or whatever the gameplay is, I just think kind of like you already know what to expect going in. There's no surprises anymore.
That's why for me, when I see a game like a trailer or a little gameplay experience, I basically say, yep, I'm good. I don't need to know anything more. I don't need to dive into more gameplay features, more storyline, like Horizon Zero Dawn. I saw the first gameplay trailer of that. I'm like, yep, I'm sold. I'm in. I don't want to pay attention to any more story. I don't want the story like ruined for me. I don't want to see the first hour worth of gameplay. I really don't want that. I want to experience myself with my own eyes by myself, have my own experience.
And I'll read a review. I'll not read like the whole thing, but I'll see, a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. If I see a 4 out of 10, then I'll be like, all right, I'm going to hold off. But it's good to have the information out there. I just think that it's a shame, because you play, the original Xbox was amazing. Like just playing through those games, like, hey, there's so many great titles for that console. And,
way to bring it back, Gary. We were off in the weeds. You brought it back to the Xbox.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, we're going to talk about. That's what I mean. Now I'm talking about Xbox back then. It was different. Not that it was that long ago. That's how crazy it is. How fast, things change.
Yeah, 15 years. Xbox really got me more into gaming. I think back. And most of my gaming experiences were with the original Xbox. Like, I remember playing PS2 slightly. I remember playing, like, the Kingdom Hearts games and maybe Crash Bandicoot, and some of, like, the SmackDown vs. Raw games on PlayStation 2. But really, the core experiences were with Xbox, with Halo 1 and, or Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 with you and Paul and John playing, the Flood or the Library, the final mission of Halo, trying to escape the exploding
Pillar of Autumn.
Yeah, Pillar of Autumn. Escaping. Oh man, so great stories. I probably told you this multiple times. Like the one time we were doing it, we had such trouble, like on legendary difficulty, just getting to the final run with the Warthog. That was so epic too. Like coming into that game, I had I don't think I really knew what Halo was. Like I didn't know what this game was about. I think it just came with it. I could be wrong, but I don't remember how I got it, but I know I got it. It was amazing. But I remember that final mission driving, and we're going to trying to get off the ship, going to the final Pelican, I think they're called, or something. And I just see the clock ticking down. It's like 20 seconds left. Me and John, who's my partner at the time, or co-op partner at the time, were running, and we're running, we both like had to jump over like an obstacle. He just all of a sudden gets like stuck in the face with a plasma grenade. He like explodes, and I'm like freaking out trying to run and get there. I get there with like 7 seconds to spare, even though of course 7 seconds is not enough to start up a Pelican, but we're kids, we don't really pay attention to that. I just figured the seconds they factor in the amount of time you need to start up the ship. That's what I think. But those are the gaming memories I remember. Playing Halo 2 online. That's what got me into online shooters, is playing Halo 2 with the whole buddy system and the clan, creating the Pancake Army with my friends Paul and John, and just playing that difficult ass game known as Halo 2, playing like the custom games before Halo 3, where it was all custom galore. You just had to use your innovation, play like Tower of Power and SWAT. Like SWAT was invented just as a game mode, and then it became an actual mode itself. Fucking playing on Lockout, Xbox I associate with like Halo and Halo 2, but there's plenty of other games that I've played on Xbox which I just adored. I loved Xbox. It got me into playing online. And I probably wouldn't love games as much as I love them now if it wasn't for the Xbox.
Yeah, honestly, well for me, like Xbox, I never had online on Xbox, so that wasn't until PS3, which I could go on another episode about how much I love the PS3 for getting me into online gaming. But with the Xbox, like seriously, you have like titles like Halo and Halo 2. I remember Halo 2 coming out, and I remember just the anticipation of that day. That was like probably the last time I can honestly say
I feel like we were talking about it. We were talking about it like at lunch period. I remember, like in elementary school.
Yeah,
we were discussing like how hyped we were.
God, and I got that the day it came out, which was like stunning because I didn't reserve it. Well, I didn't buy it. Of course, my mom was cool enough to buy it herself for me. But Jesus, man, I mean, Knights of the Republic. That's as you know, is my favorite game of all time. So that's no secret. But like that game, all these amazing titles, and you can say it for every console generation. But when I guess it's kind of like nostalgic for us because we were young back then. But man, just tremendous.
Like, I just remember playing like Halo 2 constantly, and Halo 1. I remember actually playing Jet Set Radio that came with the Xbox. Oh, that game was the bomb. Just you rollerblading around, I think spray painting areas. I'm trying to look at trying to jog my memory of other games that I played, because really Halo and Halo 2 are the only ones that stick in my brain because I played it so many. Mercenaries. Fight Night Round 2. That's where
tremendous.
That's where we played it.
I had that for PlayStation 2 at the time.
Yeah. I'm going through the. There's a list. Oh, can't forget this. The final in the series of MVP baseball. Fucking
yeah.
MVP baseball. That's where it was at.
05?
Yeah, 05. Manny Ramirez.
What a great game. What a tremendous game. You could build your own stadium and everything in that. Oh, my God.
There's so many games I forget about. I remember playing Crimson Sky. That was like one of the other Xbox Live games. Dogfighting in old World War I or World War II era pilot or planes.
I have one for you. Remember Need for Speed Most Wanted? That game was the shit.
That was also on PS2. Yeah. I'm so upset. Like, even though I'm kind of not upset, because then it sort of it made me adore like Elder Scrolls Oblivion, but Elder Scrolls Morrowind, I feel like I missed out that on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I was originally on the Xbox. Because I imagine I would have loved that as like a younger kid, which is why I love Oblivion, because I was still like immersed in it, and I had all the time in the world to play those games, and I could explore all the nook and crannies in the insaneness that is the Elder Scrolls series.
Yep.
Burnout, Takedown, Prince Persia. I'm just looking at this blog post because I'm just curious, trying to jog my memory. Grand Theft Auto, yeah. Fable.
You know what's crazy?
Fable's a classic game on there.
What's crazy to me is I looked up it was an article on IGN, and it was a top 20 exclusive titles for the Xbox. Number 4 is Halo. Number 3, I couldn't believe it, was Knights of the Old Republic. Now, obviously, I know they always regard that game as one of the best games for Xbox, but I never thought it would be ahead of Halo. Like, Halo is like untouchable for so many people. So needless to say, I was stunned when I saw that, but goddamn. All they had to do was make a third one. That's all they had to do. I would have been happy. I could have died
never know.
happy.
They may still. You don't count it out. They have to. They have the Old Republic. Why the fuck would they bring it back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like you're flipping. Oh, I'm shocked you didn't flip me off. Jade Empire. We talked about it coming to iOS, but that was a fantastic game on Xbox.
The glory days of BioWare.
This was originally where Splinter Cell started off on the Xbox. I remember playing that in what was it? It was like Splinter Cell, and then I want to say Pandora, some bullshit, and then Chaos Theory. Fantastic game. Original Splinter Cell, hard as balls. That game was ridiculous. How difficult it was, because it was back when like you have a silenced pistol, and the fucking thing didn't do jack squat against anybody, and you had a limited amount of ammo. It was insane.
That's another thing I was going to say before. Like, all these games today, I feel like you have it so much easier. There's waypoints for you. They give you like explicit directions on what to do. Most games, not all. Some games are still hard, but I just feel like so many games have been watered down to the point where it just spells out everything for you. Like Skyrim is a good honestly example of that, where everything that you need to know is basically given to you. It's like, wherever you need to obtain, it's like, here you go here. Here you go here. It doesn't just give you like, it's located in somewhere in the mountains, and you have to go look through the mountains and find it. Like, I understand it's hard to do. And
in Skyrim or Oblivion, that would be insane trying to find that.
Well, I'm not saying like over such a massive area, but like it's somewhere in this area, and it shows you the area. Like, I'm not, what I'm saying is that like so many things are just spelled out blatantly for you now, and it's just kind of,
especially now that I feel like young kids these days, those whippersnappers, whenever they get stuck with anything that's relatively challenging in the game, it's so easy just to go on like the IGNs or the wiki sites and just get a walkthrough so they can find the right area and just keep moving.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I've been guilty of that. I've done that before, but at the same time, I've gotten, it's so easy now. I feel like to just kind of like blow your way through games and not actually have to like pay your dues, so to speak.
Yeah, I realize now because once you start working, you have less time to devote to video games. So I don't want to be sitting around trying to find like a certain little thing that I'm missing. So I just have to like look it up, and so I can keep moving, because sometimes your time is precious. So I didn't.
It does depend on what it is. Like if it's like you can't find a switch in the room, okay.
Yeah, I remember I used it for somewhat with the last game I used it for was Salt and Sanctuary, which was I honestly just used it for just making sure I go the right area. Underrated game. You guys out there haven't played Salt and Sanctuary, I highly recommend it. It's basically Dark Souls, but in a 2D format. Fucking amazing. That was like that's like the last game I like sat down from like start to finish and beat it. Well, not sat down in one sitting, but like I actually only played that game specifically and beat it. Fantastic game. But that's it for the topics. Gary, what are you doing for the rest of the week?
Work. But I want to sprinkle in some gaming sessions probably.
Let me ask you something.
What's up?
You have a men's league game on Thursday?
Yes, I do.
Well, technically, we're recording on Wednesday because scheduling issues. I'm going to a basketball game on Thursday, so we can't really do it. So we're doing it Wednesday early. Sorry, but since you have a men's league game on Thursday, how many goals are you going to score? You're going to score 7. You're going to score 7 for the two Jersey kids out there. All the kids.
It's definitely more possible against. It's definitely more possible against this team we're playing. They're kind of the worst team in our league. So.
Okay. I will bring it down. I'll take it down to 5. If you score 5 goals, I'll be happy, and I'm sure our fan base will absolutely love it. But if you don't,
I would.
You're dead to me.
Okay. I think we've been through this before.
Yeah. You were dead to me up until the point we started the Tuesday episode.
Fantastic.
But what games are you just going to keep playing Skyrim?
Yeah, it's probably going to be Skyrim and Destiny. I'll probably play Destiny once Trials of Osiris comes back on Friday. But, I mean, that's probably going to be it. I want to try to get through the Dragonborn DLC. I'll probably be done that soon. So, I might try to go through, like, the other factions in the game. Because I beat the Dark Brotherhood, and I haven't done the Mages Guild yet. I've done them before a few years back. But I haven't done the Mages Guild or the other guilds yet. I mean, the stories aren't that great, but it's still something to do in the game, and I kind of like the Mages Guild a little bit. So, yeah, that's what I'll be doing. So, nice. What's up with you?
Honestly, right now, talking about it, I really wish Halo 2 servers were still online and people could still play the original game online. Fucking love that game so much. Thinking about it, I just want to play it. Damn it. But I'm probably going to continue playing Child of Light, which I forgot to mention earlier. I've been like eking my way through that. It got to a portion where I may need to use the wiki because I've been flying all over the place. I don't know how to continue. I'm getting lost, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep playing it and hope I find the right area. Then I've also been. I'll probably keep going with the Endril mod for Skyrim. Started off great. I'm excited to keep playing it. I mean, I started off great. I got through like 15 to 30 minutes. Really kind of creepy the way it started off. So I'm excited to get back into it. And hopefully, if it's as good as people says it is, cry over my decisions. I can't wait to be torn and have my heart broken into pieces.
So jealous. God damn it.
I'm trying to build up the energy to do the final talk. Gary, do you think you can do it? You've never done it before. Do you think you could handle the outro? Or do you want me to just go?
Yeah, take the wheel, man.
You want me to... He cowers, everyone. He cowers. He can't handle my position. He can't handle it. Just kidding.
I would say it, but then you'd be like, oh, that's not what we're supposed to be saying.
You may or may not be right. Thank you all for being here. I am Adam. The other person here is Gary. But, yeah. that's about it. Just kidding. We release 2 episodes every week. There's a Tuesday episode breaking down the games releasing this week and us giving our genius opinions on what you should play. And don't hold us accountable if that game is actually garbage, because, our genius is actually mediocre, but don't tell anybody. And then we release this episode on Friday that's in your ear holes right now, going over the topics or news in the video game industry, and we discuss it for all you guys to hear, because we're normal gamers and we just trying to project your opinions. Whether or not we're right or wrong, who knows. But if you're a new listener, thank you for listening. You're awesome. And if you're just an existing listener, you're fucking awesome too. We love you and appreciate all of you. Please subscribe to us. And also, if you really enjoy the podcast, we would love it if you just rated us on either, if you're listening to us on iTunes, please rate us there. If you're listening on Stitcher, rate us there if you can. If you're on Google Play, rate us there. If you're on some other podcast app like Overcast, just recommend us. I think that's a possibility. Trying to move up in the rankings would be great. Trying to build our fan base, if we can say we have one. I think we do, somewhat, of, I don't know, double digits amount of people, and my mom. So, I think it's perfect. But yeah, please tweet us at 2JerseyKids if you want to just interact with us, get your opinions on the show. And also, if you do have questions, you can email us at 2JerseyKids@gmail.com, or you can find us, send questions on our website, 2JerseyKids.com, the questions section, and just, type it up and send us questions. We would love to answer them. Wouldn't we, Gary?
Absolutely.
Say you would like it.
I would love it.
There it is. Gary, you have anything left to say to these beautiful listener kids things?
I'm afraid that is all.
That's all?
I love y'all, as always. I always
I thought you were about to give him a cold shoulder.
I always appreciate seeing the tweets on Twitter, talking about how much they enjoy the episode, or they have some input on what they want us to talk about. I love seeing that. So keep on doing that. Keep on supporting us.
Yeah,
love being here.
Honestly, we had somebody tweet or direct message us saying that they enjoyed the podcast and they said keep it up. Honestly, that made my fucking night. I saw that. I was in the shower. I'm getting personal right now. I was in the shower, showering up, putting the soapy soap all over my body, my beautiful body. And I heard jamming out to some Pandora station. It was, I think it was Lose Yourself. Lose Yourself, Eminem station. I was jamming out to. Heard my phone vibrate. It was like, what's that? I look over, and I see there's a message on Twitter. I'm not going to mention the username because I don't know if he or she wants me to. So, but they said, doing a great job. Keep it up with a thumbs up, and that made my night. I was hyped, and I started singing more in the shower. It was fantastic. Made my night. Man. But, again, we appreciate and love you all. Thank you for listening. Expect us on the next Tuesday. Keep your phones on to find out. Keep your ears open and keep playing those games. We love you. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Gary and Adam have left the building.